Today we are going to be discussing who Pikachu's original owner was. Before anyone feels like they've been clickbaited, just like Ash's father, as of now, there is no real answer of backstory as to who it was. However, there is speculation and answers for the games, mangas, and anime. When I talk about Pikachu, I refer to the Pikachu in the main series anime, games, and mangas, and any other representation of the main protagonist with that iconic electric mouse on their shoulders. Hello, and welcome back to Pokemon Theory, the show where Professor Oak really isn't a professor, and going to the gym doesn't mean pumping iron. Unless you're in Dewford Town, which is a literal gym. Pikachu is a very iconic character. People instantly would think it's odd, referring to Pikachu as a character, but it might as well be one. Pikachu is probably the single most popular Pokemon of the series, and for good reason. And aside Meowth, Pikachu has probably appeared the most in the Pokemon series as a whole. From its own game, as terrible as it may be, to appearing on the front cover of multiple Pokemon games, Pikachu is the star of the show as much as Ash Ketchum and the other trainers. But one question remains: what gender is Pikachu? No, not that question. With enough research, I am sure that can be answered as well, and probably already has. But who was Pikachu's original trainer? Professor Oak. Video over. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, make sure... yeah, I get it, this video's too short, and I didn't explain why, and you want more. Okay, well fine. In Pokemon Generation 1, and yes, yellow version, the one where Pikachu is given to the player at the start, Professor Oak explains that he used to be a serious trainer, but now he only has 3 Pokemon left in the case of Red, Blue, and Green. In Yellow, Professor Oak actually captures Pikachu outside Pallet Town in front of the player. Let me just laugh for a moment, because there is no Pikachus in the Pallet Town, outside of the Pallet Town, not in the anime, not in the games, but I digress. That's the short-sightedness of programmers. Not being mean, but just being real. Pokemon Yellow wasn't programmed with a great amount of time or care due to time constraints. In Red, Blue, and Green, Oak states as aforementioned that he was a serious trainer, which is very true because he is a secret boss that is accessible with a glitch, and depending on the player's starter, depends on one of his Pokemon's final evolutions. Just like Blue, he can have a Charizard, a Blastoise, or Venusaur, and this changes his party. But please note, he does not have a Pikachu or a Raichu. However, it does seem like if he did indeed win the Poke League, that he likely also captured quite a few Pokemon. Pikachu, though rare, is fairly easily found later in the game's power plant. I find it excessively difficult to accept that Oak didn't originally have a Pikachu, and in terms of the Pokemon anime, there were many Pikachu found in a forest as well, nearby Pallet Town and Kanto. If Oak was a former champion, both in the games and in the anime as well, then it really is not a stretch to assume that he caught that Pikachu and decided to give it away as a starter. We are not detailing Pikachu's strength at all. There are many theories on why Pikachu is so strong in the anime, but personally, I do not think it was special to begin with. Oak noted that Pikachus are difficult Pokemon to handle as starters, and if you note the first battle Pikachu ever had, it was attacked multiple times by a Spearow before even counter-attacking. This is not something a seasoned Pokemon would do, especially one originally trained and leveled up highly by a trainer. People often cite that Pikachu was able to take down a flock of Spearow and later blow up a Pokemon Center, and that somehow makes it a special Pikachu. Looking at both of these moments, we can note that the flock of Spearow were defeated due to the rain conducting electricity, soaking all the birds, and just chaining the electricity, anime logic. And the Pokemon Center was blown up by combining the gas of coughing into an explosion. And by the way, coughing does learn the move explosion, so it's not really a surprise that happened. And if you look at coughing's dex entries and wheezing's dex entries, you kind of get the idea that, yeah, their gas, pretty explosive. Team Rocket are the ones that claimed it was special, not Ash, not Oak, and if we're going by what Team Rocket said, well, they're still chasing Pikachu as a joke. Pikachu was a Pokemon Oak caught in his years as a trainer. Instead of keeping the Pokemon contained within their Pokeballs, he let them loose as he no longer needed them, being a professor. He had other Pokemon, stronger Pokemon that he probably won the league with if he needed to defend himself. Oak either bred the previous iterations of those Pokemon to get these starters, or caught them somewhere in the anime because, once again, anime logic. With that said, Oak caught Pikachu within the game series in front of the player. In the anime, Oak likely caught the wild Pikachu and again was tired of raising Pokemon, or Pikachu was just too difficult for him at his old age to bother with. and he no longer desired to be a trainer. And in the manga series, when Oak met Red in the Electric Tale of Pikachu, Ash already had his Pikachu. As for the rest of the mangas and the side entries into the main series, most writers and programmers often take liberties with making their own backstories, so feel free to try and research them yourself. And as for Champion Red within the canon series, most people consider Pokemon Yellow to be where Trainer Red originates from, when battled in games like Generation 2 and in the more recent Sun and Moon series. Which means Trainer Red, Champion Red, acquired his iconic Pikachu from Professor Oak cheating and capturing it in a forced encounter outside of Pallet Town. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest moments, one of the most important moments of Pokemon itself is founded on Game Shark hacks. And once again, Professor Oak proves to be something that we may not have realized or thought about at the time. To summarize it all, Ash received his Pikachu from a leftover Champion Oak who used to be a Pokemon trainer. Iconic Champion Red received his Pikachu from Oak hacking it into the game outside of Pallet Town. And in the manga series, Ash already had his Pikachu. I know many people want to think that Pikachu is super special. Would it make sense to give a starter Pokemon to a trainer like Ash at level 100 or even level 50 or anything above level 5? This is a starter Pokemon. Pikachu, referred to as already a hard to handle Pokemon, why would you give an even more powerful version of that to an ill-experienced trainer? But we are talking about the anime that breaks its own rules all the time, that lets 10-year-olds roam the world with fire dragons and Pokemon capable of destroying the world. A giant tentacle destroyed a city in less than 10 minutes in one episode. This is the world we're trying to explain. So, do those answers satisfy you, comment section? Are you not entertained? Well, if you were, let me know by leaving a like, and go ahead and put your theories below as to who Pikachu's original trainer was.